So I'm standing out here in a field in the middle of Des Moines, Washington, and it may seem like an odd place to open a movie about a major airport, but well, it's hard to overstate the enthusiasm so many people have had for aviation since its beginnings. Even today, you have to admit, it's a miracle. Almost like science fiction, where people get into a tube, go up above the clouds, then magically reappear on a distant planet. Despite all the current complaining travelers may do, the romance we've had with flight over the past century is baked into American culture. And make no mistake, commercial aviation is an American culture, as American as the automobile. And that makes it hard for the general public to understand what airports really are. As recently as 2012, serious urban planners were saying that the future of cities might be something called the aerotropolis, planning major urban environments with an airport at the center. That idea would cause horror both from community members, but especially from the FAA, which would be charged with the unenviable task of controlling such a complex airspace. But this is exactly the kind of unbridled optimism that has powered every technological revolution connecting America over the past 150 years. Railroads, cars, aviation, the internet. Today, we have a name for this culture: move fast and break things. In addition to improving the lives of millions of users of the tech, each of these revolutions also create cities, jobs, schools, and at least a few generations of prosperity, the factory towns. Ironically, this creates a sense of community loyalty so palpable that even when the industry itself knows to move on, the combination of dependency and nostalgia makes it hard for the community to make that same pivot. So far, you might think we've been just talking about Boeing, but we're also talking about Sea-Tac Airport. Now, people tend to forget that an airport is a port, because from day one, the airline industry worked very hard to help you forget that, attempting to infuse the world of commercial aviation with the glamour of the glory days of travel by rail and ship. That may seem a very long time ago now, but even today, airports emphasize glass and chrome, and above all, an antiseptic, contained quality. Unlike rail or seaports, once you're inside the terminal, you're in another world. However, underneath it all, every airport is a port, an industrial system that processes people and cargo, provides a limited number of local jobs, but generates vast amounts of what accountants call externalities, which is just a fancy way of saying costs that neither the buyer or the seller have to pay for. Noise, pollution, decline in economies and public education, and so on. Which is to say that, from the community point of view, every airport is just another factory. What makes this history worth telling is that Sea-Tac is both so like every major airport in the world, but also unlike every other major airport in the world. We're not only the airport factory, for the aviation revolution, a revolution that literally changed the world, we were also that other type of factory town, the region that made the miracle of commercial aviation possible. The people living under the flight path of Sea-Tac Airport are the factory towns created by the original factory town. And that is what has made it especially hard for us to understand the series of bargains we've made over the past 70 years. In many ways, we not only allowed, but encouraged ourselves to become the real Aerotropolis. But to make sense of how we came to consider 1,200 departures and arrivals as just another Tuesday, we'll need to take a quick trip in that science fiction machine 140 years back to the birthplace of aviation pioneer William Boeing. Next stop, Detroit, Michigan, the original factory town.